Christian Caruana. Sarah Casely.
I present to you, for the honorary degree of Doctor of the University, Martin Lewis.
Graduates, ladies and gentlemen, Vice-Chancellor, members of faculty, thank you. It is a genuine honour to be here. And I just want to say before I start how moved I was at your response to the gentleman picking up the degree on behalf of his late wife. I think that totally fits with the ethos of this institution, one of the great unsung heroes in the battle against social inequality. Well done, you. I should also say, Vice-Chancellor, I was very interested in the gentleman who got 2 bachelor's degrees. I didn't know you did bog-offs. Now, when I look out across this very big room, my first thought, apart from what on earth are the energy bills like, is on the many individual stories in here. My fellow recipient today focused on the macro, the big picture, the world response. I look at the micro, the personal, and I'm aware of the individual hardship that has gone into getting you these degrees. That may not be financial. It may simply be the hours sitting there, not going out, not playing with the kids, getting up early or going to bed late and being very tired. But there's something very important, a secondary consequence rather than just being graduates of an institution like this. You are the next generation of warriors in that battle against social inequality. You've succeeded at it yourselves. You need to pass that message on. And something we don't say in this country when the talk about university is often about these ridiculous figures of £50,000 of debt, when actually the student finance system is effectively an extra income tax rather than any form of debt on the back end. The thing we don't say, and the reason it's so important, is because the more we berate higher education, the more those from non-traditional university backgrounds do not go. It's not the middle-class kids, it's not the upper-class kids. The more you talk about debt, the more you put off those from non-university backgrounds who are the most debt-averse. And the words that nobody ever says to graduates and those of you getting your masters and doctorates in this room. 2 words I want to say to you today. Be proud. Be proud. You are graduates in one of the world's great universities of social change. You are graduates in one of the richest, wealthiest, and most progressive countries in the world. And there is nothing wrong. There is nothing to be ashamed about. There is absolutely nothing stopping you being proud. So they've given you a round of applause. This time, do it for yourselves. Those of you wearing the robes like me, cheer and shout and yell and be proud. Quite right. Congratulations from me to you as well. And it's important that we get the messages right at the moment, because we live in uncertain times, especially in the UK. In fact, the only thing we can grasp onto, and this isn't flippant, is the only good thing is we now have the certainty of uncertainty. We know that things are not going to be certain. And that actually does aid you in your decision-making ability. You know that you have to plan for the worst and hope for the best. When it comes to Brexit, and that's the word we're all talking about, when it comes to Brexit, whatever you believe, I hear a lot of spittle, actually. I was watching Question Time last night, just as an aside, and people keep talking about these 17.2 million people who voted out. And I find it rather offensive that both politicians and individuals seem to be able to think they can assert the views of 17.2 million people. There are 500,000 people in the Labour Party, and they don't all definitely share a view. So I doubt the 17.2 million Brexit voters all feel the same. For some, it was immigration. For some, it was about the economy. But the one thing we have is Brexit hasn't happened yet. And the worry and the concern is what will happen when we do leave. Now, that isn't a missive or an anti. It is about dealing with change. What we have to do as a country, and I'm aware that some of you aren't from the UK, but you've got one of our degrees, so you have to listen a little bit. What we have to do as a country is pull together, and regardless on your views on the vote, is say something nice to someone who voted the other way and work hard to make sure that the outcome is as good as possible for us and as good as possible for our European neighbours and the rest of the world. But dealing with that uncertainty is a large challenge. It's something that Mark where's he gone? He's behind me. Oh, no, he's not. Oh, yes, he is. It's something that Mark in his work looks at, how we all go about making decisions when it comes to uncertainty. It's something we're not taught in school. We're taught about black and white. Even at degrees, we're not actually given the idea that life is about a bundle of grey. And there are many questions that come to me and that I hear where people want a certain answer. What's going to happen to interest rates? What's going to happen to house prices? Should I buy my currency now or should I wait later until I'm going on holiday? I don't know. I may be an expert, but I don't know. These are uncertain factors. And it's bigger. Should I buy that house? Should I marry him or her? So what do you do? How do we deal with uncertainty? Well, one of the great confusions we make in life is between a good decision and a good outcome. You can make a good decision and have a bad outcome. People who fixed their mortgages at 5 or 6% in 2007 often say to me, I made the worst decision when I fixed. And I asked them, why did you fix? They said, well, I went for a fix because I wanted long-term certainty that I could afford the repayments in case interest rates went up and they didn't go up. And my answer is, well, you fixed for the right reasons and you made a good decision. You could afford your repayments. It's only with hindsight that we know it would have been cheaper if you hadn't. The decision was good, the outcome was bad. And if you confuse those two in your lives, and the reason I raise this, all of you have had a life change by doing this. All of you graduating have made some decision or some sacrifice to be here. Was it a good decision? Well, I hope so. For a few of you, it won't be. A few of the outcome won't be what you wanted, but that doesn't mean the decision was wrong. I always do a game. I wasn't going to do this, but let's just play this for a second. I do it with a coin. I don't have one here. You're my guinea pig. Okay? I've got a coin in my hand, ladies and gentlemen. It's a magic one. You can't see it, but let's carry on. There's a coin in my hand here now, and I'm going to offer all of you, only virtually, not really, don't get excited. I'm going to offer all of you a bet. You're going to pick for them. If we toss the coin and he calls right, all of you who want, I will give £100. Not me. Maybe a philanthropist, but that's taking it too far. If he calls wrong, you have to give me £1. So if you win, you get £100. If I win, you give me £1. Would you take the bet? Who'd take the bet? Hands up. Come on, hands up. Anyone who's not got the hand up is a bit stupid. So hands up. Simple bet. Two sides, no cheat, nothing like that. Heads or tails? No.
I'm going heads.
It's going heads. Toss the coin. It's tails. Was it a bad bet? No. And that's the message to remember in life. Sometimes it doesn't go your way, but that doesn't mean the decision was wrong. And the reason this is important, if we start assigning bad decisions when they were good, we make the wrong choices in future. We weigh up the goods or bad. We weigh up the different options that we can receive, and we make the choice on the information that we have at the time. And do not berate yourself or kick yourself afterwards, because there's nothing that you can do. So my final thought to you is, graduates, master's recipients, doctorate recipients, congratulations on a very good decision to take your degree. And please God, you get the outcome you want. Thank you.